Corporate layoffs are sweeping the country. Yahoo announcing it will cut 20% of its workforce, while Disney slashes 7,000 jobs. So what does this mean for the economy, and are signs pointing toward a recession? Let's ask the economist who correctly predicted the 2008 recession, Professor Emeritus at NYU Stern School of Business and author of Mega Threats, Nouriel Roubini. Nouriel, thank you so much for being here. You're seeing the numbers like we are, and companies are forecasting problems, making changes accordingly by cutting staff. What's your take on the prospects of a recession in 2023 or beyond?
Well, the markets now are expecting a soft landing or a softish landing, maybe a mild 2 quarters recession and then economic recovery. I'm more pessimistic. I'm in the camp of those who believe we'll have a hard landing. The soft data that are the forward-looking indicator of economic activity, including those in the labor market, suggest a very sharp slowdown of the economy. Layoffs are increasing, consumer confidence is weakening, real retail sales, given inflation, have been falling for the last 3 months. Inflation has fallen, but I think it's going to be very hard for the Fed to get to 2%. You have a geopolitical depression where the brutal invasion of Ukraine by Russia is going to get worse, further spiking commodity prices this year. Iran is becoming a threshold nuclear state, and Israel might attack Iran this year, spiking energy prices. And the Cold War between US and China is becoming colder, with a negative impacts on business and consumer confidence. And if China now is going to go back to growth, demand for commodities is going to rise. On the supply side, by the way, there is massive underinvestment in commodities, production of new capacity, not just in energy, but across the board. So between demand and supply, I expect a spike in commodity prices, and I expect persistent wage inflation in the United States, given the tightness of the labor market, and the service sector is mostly labor costs. So inflation is going to remain much higher than otherwise. The Fed will have to tighten more than otherwise. That's going to lead to a hard landing.
So the spike in commodity prices obviously leads to increases in inflation. Companies are looking at this, as you pointed out. It's not just Yahoo and Disney. Amazon laying off 18,000 employees, Microsoft laying off 10,000, Alphabet 12,000, Dell's cutting the workforce by 5%. Will the U.S. go into a recession? You said folks are hoping for a soft landing. You believe it'll be a hard landing. What does a hard landing look like?
Well, a hard landing will be something like a recession that doesn't last only a couple of quarters, short and shallow, but might persist for several quarters, say for most of this year. Yeah, the data from the labor market suggests that many sectors, starting first with technology, but now others are starting to have layoffs. That's going to impact negatively consumer confidence. Job creation will be lower. We'll have lower real wage growth, and that's going to slow down consumption that is 2/3 of demand. In the United States, historically, whenever inflation is above 5% and unemployment below 5%, when the Fed raises interest rates to fight inflation, you always end up with a hard landing. You never end up with a soft landing. And today, of course, inflation is way above 5%, and the unemployment rate is around 3.4%. So the wishful thinking that we're going to be able just to tighten a little more, the economy slows down enough, there is enough slack in goods and labor market, and inflation and wage inflation drops like a stone, may turn out to be wrong. That's what the markets want, but I think it's unlikely to happen.
Well, you correctly predicted 2008. You're predicting a rough 2023. I hope you're wrong, but I fear based on how you laid it out, you might be right. And hopefully we are as prepared as we can be. Nouriel Roubini, thank you for that insight this morning. We appreciate it.